Hey there, today I'm going to share with you all the reasons why you should get started with your art business today, why you shouldn't wait around, and all the things that I've learned in my business so far. Before I get started, I wanted to point out that in case you're building an art business and need some guidance from someone who's a few steps ahead of you and who might hold your hand along the journey and point out all the areas in which you're standing in your own way, I offer one-on-one coaching, especially for artists, and I teach people how to get over their own blocks and how to actually stick with all those things. So I will link my coaching in the description box down below, so check it out. So, I'm not saying that everyone who enjoys art has to start a business from it, because it's totally valid to have it just as a hobby. I mean, people have kind of started complaining that I urge people to start businesses because they think that it then means that their hobby isn't valid anymore, but that's not true. You can do anything as a hobby, and even if you have an art business, even if you decide that that's for you, then you can still do art as a hobby. In addition, I create art pieces off camera as well. I do DIY stuff off camera just for myself, just as a hobby, and I really recommend doing that even if art is a business for you or is your job. So the fact that I'm talking about this doesn't mean that art should not be a hobby anymore. I want to make this video for people who've been thinking about creating an art business and just feel like they're not completely ready yet, and I want to share all the things that I've learned and the reasons why I think that you should start now. So, with that being said, having a business is the best personal development tool that you can have, because your personal growth is going to be reflected in the business. And I feel like most people dismiss that and don't really take that into consideration when it comes to business. But the most important thing in business is your mindset and where you are as a person. And most of the time, we have to grow into a different person in order to become successful, especially in a creative business. And that doesn't mean that you weren't good enough as a person before. It just means realizing that you were worthy all along. And there's a lot of mental health stuff and mindset work that has to be done when you want to be successful in any kind of creative business. And I think that that's an awesome thing, because you can see how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and you actually have to grow. You're forced to grow, because if you do the same thing over and over again, you won't be successful. You have to learn, you have to improve. And I think that's amazing. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because I want to grow and evolve as a person. And when you're doing a 9 to 5 job that's maybe not even in a creative area, it might be the case that you do the same thing every day. I mean, that's not the case for every job out there, but especially if you have the kind of dead end job that doesn't lead anywhere and there's not a lot of promotions on the way for you or something like that, a lot of people then tend to stagnate and they stay the same and stay in the same place, not just physically, but also mentally, because they don't have to grow and they don't have to evolve. And growing and evolving, that takes a lot of courage and it's very uncomfortable a lot of the time. But staying the same, it's also very uncomfortable. It's just a different kind of discomfort, and we often choose it because it feels more familiar. But honestly, I'd rather grow and become a different person, change my own identity, because that's what you have to do in business. Always change your identity for every step along the way. And I'd rather pick that path than stay the same all throughout my life. And I know that you can still grow and evolve if you have a corporate job, but it's just not the same. You have to really, really grow as a person if you have a business. And I think that's very amazing. That's awesome. And you learn how to actually be kinder to yourself and to live in integrity with your own values and to actually do what you said you would do. You will gain so much confidence through this because you have to really show up over and over again and learn new things. And honestly, I love that so much. That's one of my favorite things about business. And the reason why I think that you should start now, no matter where you are at, is because you will never feel ready. A lot of people tell me that they don't want to start with their art business yet because their artistic skills aren't on that level yet, or they're still very young, they're still in college or in school, or whatever the reason is that they don't feel ready for it yet. You will never be ready. Even if the time is perfect, which it will never be, you will find a different excuse why you're not ready. And honestly, you don't have to be the best artist to start an art business. And when I say an art business, I don't mean that you're gonna earn 6 figures right away. I just mean that you're starting to show up consistently, whatever that means for you. For me, it meant that I started to have a YouTube channel, to upload a video every week and really get going in this and really learn and improve so much. And you have to learn so much when you start a YouTube channel. You have to learn how to speak, how to film, how to edit. So many things go into all of this. A lot of research, taking thumbnail pictures, and obviously improving the art itself. And so I didn't really feel ready when I started with my YouTube channel. Absolutely not. And I think for the first year or something, I felt like an imposter. Imposter syndrome is real, and you're gonna have it when you start doing something, and your brain is gonna tell you that you're not good enough for whatever reason. If it's your art that's not good enough, or your voice isn't good enough, whatever it is, your brain's going to come up with all of those excuses. And I had that for at least a year with my YouTube channel. And then after I did it consistently for such a long time, that voice kind of quieted down for this area of my life. But then I started to do new things. I started to create Skillshare courses and had the same voice all over again, the same imposter syndrome. And now I'm doing coaching. I have that same voice in my head again. But at this point, I know that it's just gonna be there, and that's normal. And the self-doubt is always going to be there. It's never gonna leave. If you're waiting to feel ready, you're gonna wait the rest of your life, and it's just not gonna happen. So start now, start where you're at. You don't have to be ready. Also, if you don't start right now, you might regret it later. Imagine if you had started 2 years ago. You might be at a very different point right now. I'm so glad that I started 3 years ago and started to upload consistently and really showed up, because now I get to have all the benefits of doing that. And if I imagine that I hadn't done that, oh my God, I would have missed out so much. So imagine yourself in 2 years. Imagine both scenarios, that you did take the action and that you didn't take the action. And just imagine the difference. Or imagine yourself 2 years ago and just think about what could have happened if you had started back then. And honestly, if you don't start right now, your future self might be looking back as well and wishing that they'd already started. Another thing that is a big factor in business is self-worth. You're really gonna have to work on your own self-worth if you want to show up and earn money with your art. And honestly, for me, the fact that I've been showing up consistently, it shows me that I'm worth pursuing my dreams. And that's a game changer, because I know that I'm worthy of doing this, even with all my flaws, with everything that I have, even if my art's not good enough or whatever my brain tells me. I'm still worth pursuing this. And honestly, I love this because I get to prove myself wrong, kind of, because my brain tells me that I can't do something, and then I just do it and I prove my brain wrong. And that kind of increases my self worth for me, honestly, because I understand that I am worthy of doing this and that I can actually do it. So I think that that's an amazing thing. Also, if your art isn't on a skill level yet that you feel comfortable sharing, maybe you're literally just starting out, or you haven't painted in a long time, or whatever the reason is, take people on a journey with you. Show them your improvement. Start where you are currently. Start showing up and sharing whatever it is you're doing. You don't have to create products right away. You don't have to sell your paintings right away or do commissions on the first day. Honestly, my business didn't earn a single dollar, I think, for at least a year. So it was still already a business back then because I just considered it a business and it was one of my priorities in my life, but I didn't earn money from it yet. And if you don't feel ready to sell your art yet and you're literally not ready with this for this, then just take people on the journey with you to get there, to be ready, to keep practicing your skills. Take people on a journey with you because people love it when you share all those things. It makes you relatable. People also might not be the best artists yet. They might have the same dreams as you. And you showing up so imperfectly might inspire them to do the same thing. And also, when you do this, let's say you're starting a YouTube channel, you're not only going to improve your art because you do it all the time, you're also going to learn other skills. You're going to learn about filming and about editing. And in addition to that, you're gonna learn very useful life skills because you're gonna have times where everything goes wrong, where you lose all your footage, have other technical difficulties, and then it's a matter of you taking responsibility for your situation and making the best out of it, and consider whether you can still show up or need to take a break or just give 10% instead of 100%. You're gonna learn so much from this. You're gonna have to really focus on resilience and coming back from obstacles. And that's a life skill that's gonna be useful all the time, no matter what you wanna do. And even if your art business isn't going to be the one and only thing that you ever gonna do, you will still have learned something from it that you can use in all kinds of different businesses or areas of your life. So if you're not sure currently if having an art business is the right path for you, why not just do it for a year and try it? I mean, it's just a year. Upload a YouTube video every single week, or post 5 Instagram posts every single week, or do TikToks, and do it for a year and see after that year if it's something that you want to do. I personally would look at it like an education that you're doing on the side, and I've always looked at my business like that. In business, most of the time, it takes a while until it's profitable, until you earn enough money to make a living from it. But also, if I would have gone to college, it would have also taken me at least 3 years to learn a profession and then find a job on it. And while all my peers were studying, going to college, I started to have a YouTube channel on the side while working a normal 9-to-5 day job. And I took all the time that I had left over, and I still have free time. So it's not all every single minute that I have, but it's a bunch of my free time that I used for this and just decided to do this. A lot of people do formal education on the side of their full-time job, and I just approached it that way and thought it would take a while until I have all the skills that I need in order to make a living out of this. And so I did that, and I did that for a few years and didn't really expect that it would lead me anywhere until then. And also, if you want to improve your art, having a YouTube channel or an art business is gonna help keep you accountable, because if you have to show up on a consistent basis doing that, you will have to face times where you don't feel like it, where you're facing art block and really don't want to create anything, but you still have to find ways to create content. And that's really going to help you, because you then have to figure out a way how to stay inspired and how to keep creating. And honestly, it's possible. I haven't faced really bad art block for a few years now, just because I'm so consistent with my YouTube channel. And when I don't feel like it, honestly, it's just a matter of doing it anyway. And sometimes I start and really don't feel like it, and then motivation kicks in after a while, and then I actually do feel like it. Sometimes I really have to push myself and don't really want to create something, don't really want to film a video. But at the end of the day, I'm super proud that I still managed to create it, and all the time that I spent doing it and all the time that I put into it, it really pays off after a while, because you can see all the progress that you've made. So if you want to improve your art and get better at it, start now. Show it to people, no matter where you are. And the last thing that I wanted to say is that if you have any kind of message that you want to share with the world, please do that. If you want to inspire others, then the world really needs you. People need you to tell your story, to take them along on the journey, to see that it's possible for you, so it's also possible for them. You're going to inspire so many people and help them so much, and you're also going to help yourself and really learn that, like I said, you're worth it. You're worth pursuing this. And again, like I mentioned in the beginning, my coaching is linked in the description box below. If you need any additional help with this, check it out. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and got something helpful out of it. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any specific questions about building an art business, feel free to ask those as well. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye!